Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Kazina, aka Kozibear, and I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening for another installment of the Kozibear's Cooking Holiday Special. Yes, that's right, we're not doing Season 7, we are doing the Kozibear's Cooking Holiday Special, which is a limited run 3-episode show that you can watch live on both twitch.tv/KozibearLive and youtube.com/@KozibearLive at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 4th, which is today, December 11th, which is next week, and December 18th, which is 2 weeks from now. It is also the finale of all my streaming efforts on my personal Twitch and YouTube channels. There will be no more streams on either after this, so savor it while it lasts. Remember that you can view full-length VODs of all my past streams on both platforms and keep up with what I'm doing on Blue Sky at kozibear.bluesky.social. That's kozibear.bsky.social. Definitely do that, because I'm going to have some pretty cool announcements there about what I'm going to be doing over the coming months following the end of my streaming efforts here. Before I get into tonight's episode, I just want to say, quickly, with regards to the end of my streaming efforts, I got into a little bit of this on the Respawning Fire podcast a couple of weeks back, and so definitely go and check out that podcast if you want to get a little bit more information on what's currently going on in my head right now. But basically, long story short, I've had a lot of fun doing Kozibear's Cooking. I've had a lot of fun doing personal streams on this channel over the past several years. But it's gotten to a point where I feel like as much fun as I've had doing this, there's not necessarily a tremendous amount of growth that has happened on this channel. And combined with the fact that these, streams always take a tremendous amount of effort to put together, even just a single one that occurs only once in an entire weekend, it's just not sustainable. Popular wisdom says that if you really want to grow on Twitch on these streaming platforms, you need to be streaming as much as possible. And unfortunately, that's just not something I can do with my kind of current setup. It is also this thing too, where I love cooking. I really do love cooking. And I've come to realize that I think I actually like cooking more than I like necessarily cooking on stream. So if you like a lot of my cooking adventures, a lot of the interesting things I've made on camera, definitely pay attention to my Instagram, pay attention to my Blue Sky, because I definitely will be sharing my future cooking exploits, adventures in cooking on there in the future things I'm going to be whipping up in the kitchen, just maybe not necessarily on stream, because again, it's a very long and laborious process. I do also want to put this out here. I want to put this out here right up front. It's not impossible. It's not impossible that at some point, well into the future, maybe years from now, I'm like, you know what? I had a lot of fun streaming back in the day, and I have a great new idea for how I can really just go hard into the streaming efforts, and I'll return to streaming. But it's not going to be immediate. Last time that I took an extended break from streaming, it was about a year or so. It was basically only last year, at the beginning of last year, that I came back to doing streaming. If I do come back from streaming, the break between now and me coming back is going to be far longer than that. I really want to focus on some of these other projects that I currently have in my brain right now, which you'll be able to hear about over the coming months. Plus, I also want to focus on bettering myself as a cook, bettering my crafts, working on a whole lot of other stuff before I ever consider coming back here. Okay. I have a great episode in store for you, so let's get this ball right and rolling. You've already seen it from the name of this particular episode. Today we are going to be making butter chicken pizza. Now, hold on. My throat's feeling a little bit weird, so let me just grab a little bit of water. Every single time I do one of these pizza-related... Let me zoom in a little bit. Every single time I do one of these pizza-related streams, I always... No, hold on. I'm getting confused. I'm getting really confused. That water contains some sort of aphrodisiac. It's all bubbly, too. This is weird. Is there a lot of soap in this stuff? Anyways. Where was I? Every single time I do a season of Kozibear's Cooking... I always try to do some sort of pizza-related stream as part of this season. And I was like, when I was planning out what 3 final streams I wanted to do for the final season of Kozibear's Cooking, I knew that I would want to do at least one pizza stream. And I was thinking, what's a cool crazy pizza dish that I can close out Kozibear's cooking with. And I was like, you know what? I really love butter chicken. Butter chicken, one of my favorite dishes. I have it all the time whenever I go to an Indian restaurant. What if I made a butter chicken pizza? The particular recipe that I am going to be consulting with today to make this particular dish is a butter chicken recipe that I found online on a YouTube channel called, what's it called? I believe it's called Get Curried. I saw this, let me see, here we go, Get Curried. I saw this video being shared on Twitter a little while ago, and everyone was singing the praises of this particular YouTube channel, so I figured, you know what? I should also, I want to, there we go, make my show a little bit more even. Let's throw him a coin, and let's kind of rely on his butter chicken recipe. So basically what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be preparing some butter chicken from scratch, and then we're going to be spreading that butter chicken on a pizza, and then we're going to be baking the pizza in the oven. So we will have an opportunity to both taste the butter chicken as is, and we will have the opportunity to also just taste the butter chicken with the pizza, see how it came out. I'm pretty excited for this. Before that, though, we're going to actually have to start with our dough. Now, normally in the past, whenever I've done these pizza streams, I've kind of shown the whole process of how you make your dough from scratch. And usually that means I have to make multiple other batches of dough. So that I can be like, all right, and this is where you put the dough in the fridge to let it rest for 24 hours. And now I'm going to show you another thing of dough that I pre-prepared that shows what it should look like after 24 hours. For this particular stream, I figured, you know what? Let's just start from the beginning. Let's keep this simple. I'm just going to prepare a singular batch of dough. Let me bring in the half and half camera so you can get a good look at this fellow. As you can see, this is the dough right here. And yeah, this dough has already been left to rise in various configurations for at least 48 hours right now. So basically, it's right at the point where we can actually use it for baking, albeit after a few steps. Hello to Silas in the chat. Welcome to the beginning of the Kozibear's Cooking Holiday Special and the beginning of the end of Kozibear's Cooking as we know it. Let's go ahead and let's start with step one. We're going to kick things off by punching down our pizza dough, plopping it onto our table, and kneading it for a few minutes with a little bit of flour. So the thing about the pizza dough right here is that you're supposed to, I'd previously been leaving it in the fridge for about 24 hours to rise, and you're supposed to actually leave it out on the counter to come to room temperature before you begin kneading it again and preparing it for the next steps to come. I forgot to do that sooner, and so it's still a little bit cold, so I'm going to focus first on just clearing up things on the table to make it a little bit easier for ourselves. So let's focus on that. In fact, you know what? We can bring in the full top-down camera for this particular segment. It is, I hope that you're having a good day, Silas. Right now, it has been snowing quite a bit in Montreal. It snowed a little bit yesterday, and now it's snowing a whole lot more. It really felt like there was a drought of snow for a while there, but it seems like the drought is finally over, and we are now being whisked into a winter wonderland, at least until it eventually melts a little bit. It's very rare. I don't know what it is. We used to have a white Christmas in Montreal all the time, but the past few winters, there's been no snow on the ground come December. It's been a little disquieting. Okay, I mean, it's not all the space in the world, but I think it's enough space. Silas says, yeah, I'm doing good. I always love this series. I need to catch as much of the holiday specials as I can. I mean, hey, I'm happy to have you here. You know what? Before I start putting flour out on the table, I'm going to switch to the sink camera so I can just wash my hands. Make sure they're nice and lathered. And here we go. Dry them very nicely. And there we go. Alrighty, it's taken care of. So let's go ahead and let's sprinkle a little bit of flour on our work surface. I set up a new top-down light for the purpose of the holiday special, so you can just get a bit of a better view of what's going on down here, because I noticed in some of the previous seasons that it was always a little bit dark from the top-down camera, and sometimes it was really hard to see what was going on. And so I figured, you know what? I don't have much of Kozibear's cooking left, but for this one final season, I'll invest in a nice top-down light so you can see a little bit more of how things are here. Okay, as you can see here, we have our dough. Let us open it up. As you can see, it's a really nice looking little dough ball. It's risen very nicely. In the past, whenever I've worked with a dough of this quantity, I've usually cut it up into 4 pieces, but I found over the course of many experiments and many pizza making attempts over the past little while that usually it tends to, each individual pizza that is obtained from the dough in question tends to be a little bit small. So this time I'm actually going to cut it up into 3 separate portions. Also, maybe I should have waited to put the flour on the table. Oh well, I'll have to do a lot of cleanup later. Anyways, all right, it's still dough's still a little bit colder than where I wish it was at, but ultimately I'll fix it in post. We'll fix things as we go along. And I'm gonna plop this on the table. And we're gonna just knead it for a few minutes. I'm gonna zoom in oh, wrong zoom in camera. Hold on, wrong zoom in camera. There we go. Yeah, we're just gonna focus on kneading it for a couple of minutes to reactivate it. The warmth of our hands will help re-energize it a little bit. In addition, we'll also focus on relieving the dough of any remaining air bubbles that are currently in it. Well, I'm relieved that the dough is not sticking to the table too much. I've had some experiences in the past where the dough got real super duper sticky, but after many attempts with my current dough recipe, I've not really had that issue anymore. Not to the same extent as it used to be in the past. This is about, for those who've not tuned into some of my prior pizza making streams, this dough has about a 62% hydration level, which means that for the amount of flour that's in this dough, there's a 62% amount of water in it. Which is not as high as you could go, but it's where I'm currently comfortable at. Okay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and let's consult our steps. Step number 2. And by the way, there are a total of, drum roll please, 18 steps on today's stream, so we have quite a few steps ahead of us. We're going to separate our pizza dough into 3 balls, then put them on a floured cutting board and cover them with a dampened dish towel. Then we're going to go upstairs and begin preheating our oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to move a couple things around. I'm going to just temporarily put my bowl over there. Let's see here. Yes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take some things off of this big cutting board over here that we're going to be using. I'll zoom out a little bit. can see we have a lot of things on the table right now that we're going to be using. I thought maybe I should like give myself a little bit of a break. Maybe I should, you know, do some simple things for some of these final streams. And the final stream is going to be relatively simple, but 2 streams leading up to it, oh no, not going to be simple at all. Let me grab just a little more flour so I can flour the board. And there we go. And now comes the fun part is I am going to figure out how to cut this thing into 3 pieces, which feels like it would be more difficult than if I tried to cut it into 4 pieces. Let's see what we can do. All right. So you can bring our 3 little dough balls in here. I mean, I'm sure one of them is like secretly a little bit more heavy than the other, but these are all about equal enough. I think I'm satisfied with that. So just gonna do a little bit of kneading with them, each individually, and then roll them up into balls and put them on our cutting board. Now we're going to ball them up. All right. Dough ball number 2. I should probably zoom out a little bit just so you can see the first dough ball on the floured cutting board. Just going to make sure they're properly spread out. And here we go. Dough ball number 3. Oh, I got a notification in Pokemon Go. Apparently, an egg is about to hatch. Alrighty. And now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get these cloths a little bit damp, and then put them over our pizza dough balls. Also, I'm just going to move some things back over to the table. There we go. This will just wash my own hands a little bit because my hands got a little covered in a little bit of the pizza dough. Gonna rinse that out. I'm gonna set the temperature to more moderate. All right, now they're sopping wet, so we're gonna wring as much water as we can out of them. Let me I'm just going to fold them differently and just bring a little bit more water out of them. Like this. There we go. Same thing with this one. And there we go. All right. Now we're going to return over here, and we're going to put our damp dish towels on our pizza dough balls. Maybe I'll do half and half like this. And we're going to put this over here to the side, close enough that we can keep an eye on it if need be, but out of the way so we don't accidentally interfere with the dough balls. And now we're just going to let them rise for like a good hour and a half. But before we get to our next steps, we got to go upstairs and preheat our oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do that right now. And we are back. I feel a little bit ashamed because basically, as you know, normally when I do these streams, I have some refrigerated ingredients sometimes. And usually I take the refrigerated ingredients out of the fridge just before I started these streams. Went upstairs and realized that I forgot to close the door to the refrigerator. Whoops. So I'm going to hope that things cool down, temperatures lower real quick after that, and nothing gets spoiled. Let's go ahead and let's move on to our next step. This is where we start making our butter chicken. Step number 3. First things first, we're going to cut up 300 grams of boneless chicken breast into bite-sized pieces. Yes, so let's go ahead and we'll bring our half and half camera back in. I'm going to grab myself one of these little measuring scales, like such. And I bet if I use the cutting board on this will probably be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll set that to grams like that. Also, there's a little bit of flour on the table. Let me just get that off there. And I'm gonna reach into my lunchbox where I've been keeping our chicken. So we're gonna reset that. So first things first, I'm just gonna get enough chicken on the cutting board so that we have 300 grams to begin with. It's about 43 grams, 100 grams, 155 grams, 202 grams, 243 grams, and wow, exactly 300 grams. This is actually kind of incredible. Let's see here. I will briefly put this chicken aside here, but I think in a step, it'll probably be... maybe I can just temporarily put this in the... You know what? Too many things at once. Going off in too many different directions. Let's focus right now on just cutting up our chicken now that we know that we have enough chicken for ourselves. So, real simple. We're just going to cut up our chicken into little bite-sized pieces, the kind of chunks that you would eat when you're eating a good portion of butter chicken. There you go, it's pretty good. I mean, this part's really simple. Go. And there we go. Nice bite-sized chicken pieces. I'm going to go ahead. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wash my hand real quick. Just so we don't have any detritus from the chicken carrying around the house, potentially getting myself or other people sick. All right. Let's go ahead. We'll bring the scene camera out. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to temporarily put our chicken back into our lunchbox, but I will, at some point in the middle of the stream, schlep it back into the fridge. It's probably okay if I keep it down here right now, knowing that the fridge door had been left open for a little bit. But that is something I will deal with at some point. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, no, I don't want to edit this. There we go. Step 4. We're going to mix our bite-sized chicken pieces with 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, 1 tablespoon of red chili powder, and a pinch of salt, and then put it aside to marinate for 15 minutes. Let's see here. You know what? I can probably just use a bowl of this size. It's only 300 grams of chicken, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to schlep all our chicken into the bowl. There we go. Very good. And next up, let's get our ginger garlic paste next. You can see it's right here. My only thing is, as much as I'm looking forward to making the butter chicken on this particular stream, I feel a little bad buying this entire thing of ginger garlic paste that I know I'm not gonna, like, end up using the entirety of. So I'm probably gonna have to maybe find some other recipes that I can make my butter chicken with. Oh, before we move on to what we're about to do, I actually have a recipe image of what I am hoping my butter chicken pizza will look like. This is a butter chicken pizza made by a fellow on Reddit that I thought looked really good. As you can see, he has a bunch of swirls there. Apparently, it was a mixture of yogurt and cream. I'm just going to be using some ranch sauce, but yeah. If we can get our pizza looking even half as good as the pizza in the upper left corner, I think that we have something potentially delicious on our hands. So let's go ahead here. 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. Wow, this is really goopy and pasty. Ooh, weird. It's probably about good. All right. Next up, 1 tablespoon of red chili powder. Red chili powder. Where did I put the red chili powder? This is chili powder blend. Here we go. Gonna wipe down the tablespoon because it got really, really goopy. Gotta say, it smells good though. I mean, it doesn't smell like something that I would just eat by itself because that would probably be disgusting, but as an ingredient, I mean, seems like a stellar ingredient. We're gonna make ourselves a little aromatic, tasty dish like butter chicken. It's about, yeah, it's about a tablespoon of the stuff. And there we go. I will keep this on here for now because I think I might need to use it a little bit more later. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab just a pinch of salt and we're going to put this in here as well. And there we go. We'll keep our salt on the table as well. We don't need the ginger and garlic paste, however, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to schlep it into our trolley like such. And now we're going to have to mix up our little chicken mixture so that the chicken is nicely marinated. I mean, I can use a spoon. I'm going to use a spoon at first. If we find that it's not getting properly mixed up enough, I can always switch to my hands, but I'd rather not like have to constantly like clean my hands over and over and over and over and over again, you know. So let's see what we can do with a spoon first. It's already smelling very, very tasty. I think this is going to be a really, really tasty dish. And if the butter chicken itself, regardless of whether the butter chicken pizza turns out great, the butter chicken itself, it ends up being delicious. I mean, this makes a great new dish that I can make at home. Whew. Although then my family will probably want to stop ordering out butter chicken from other Indian restaurants, which also do it great. So that is one downside to if I manage to nail this particular recipe that I'm in the process of making right now. Let me just stir it up a little bit more. Make sure that all the chicken pieces have been evenly coated in the mixture of garlic, ginger, and chili powder. All right. Whew. And normally this is where I would cover it in plastic wrap, but I bet that what I can do is I can just take a bowl like this and put it on top of that, and there we go. And we can keep it covered like that for the next little bit. I'm just going to put it over here in the corner, actually. And we're supposed to let it marinate for 15 minutes, so let's go ahead and let's bring in our 15-minute timer and start that up so we know that enough time has surpassed. And there we go. And with that being taken care of, we're going to move on to Step number 5, while our chicken marinates, we're going to roughly chop up 500 grams worth of tomatoes and 100 grams worth of red onions. So, couple things. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this cutting board just a quick little rinse, considering it was previously used for chicken. And also, even though I was trying hard not to touch the pieces of chicken earlier, I mean, my hand still got a little bit covered in them when I was mixing them up in the bowl, so I might as well rinse them a little bit here. I don't need to be super thorough, though, because the onions and tomatoes that I'm going to be cutting up here will all be going into the same pot at the end of the day, so it's not incredibly dramatic if the onions and tomatoes are covered in a little bit of the chicken, but I'm just trying to be cleanly. All right. Sync camera move out. Hold on a sec. It's still a little bit wet, and the scale and some of the area surrounding it got a little bit wet too. And let's see here, the 0 grams. So let's measure out our tomato first. Let's see here, 260. That's 506 grams. Wow, almost perfect. Almost like I planned it out ahead of time. So let's go ahead and yeah. I'm going to take the tomatoes here, and I'm going to cut out their bad parts and just cut them up into a bunch of small pieces. Original recipe calls for us to roughly chop these things up, so we don't need to be super thorough. I think that's small enough for what we're going to be doing. Again, cut out the bad parts of the tomato. And we'll cut up our tomato a little bit differently this time, just for the fun of it. Oh, little piece of tomato fell on the floor. I will wash it in just a moment. Oh, whoops. And there we go. And I'll just wash this one up real quick. go. And I will go ahead and I will put this thing of tomatoes over here to the side. Our cutting board got a little bit wet while we were chopping up the tomatoes, so let's just wipe it down real quick. What's next? What's next? Onions, yes. Now for the onions, we only need 100 grams of the stuff. So, you know, what we'll do is we'll put the cutting board on here like this. And then we'll cut off the end like that. Put that there, and we'll cut off a good chunk like that and see how much is this. 37 grams. Cut off another chunk. 122 grams. Okay. So if I cut off maybe half of this. There we go. 104. If I swap that one out. Seems like they're both equal, about 104. I'll go with this. This will be good. For these two pieces, you know what? I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel and I'm going to put them face down on the piece of paper towel. So they won't cause any tears like this, hopefully, at least for the next little bit. And then for these particular pieces, here, I'm going to just very quickly and roughly chop them up. And then schlep them into this cup. And there we go. And I'll just, so that it doesn't make me cry either, I'll just temporarily put the butter thing on top of that. Okay, there we go. We are knocking these steps out. Let's move on to step number 6. Once our chicken has marinated for long enough, we're going to pan fry it on medium heat until cooked, and then transfer it to another bowl. It would seem as if we still have about 6 minutes and 30 seconds left. Well, approaching 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm just I'll slowly focus on just clearing space on the table. Oops. So that we can get ready for this part of the stream that is yet ahead of us. Actually, you know what? Let me put this on top of that, not the butter. In fact, I'm going to move the butter out of the way because the butter is susceptible to rapid changes in temperature. I don't want it accidentally getting melted by this particular step of the baking process. Okay. Also, I completely forgot about this spoon that we used a little bit earlier. I'm just gonna wipe it down a little bit, but I will have to more thoroughly clean it later on. Excuse me. Okay. There we go. This is the correct side. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug this bad boy into the outlet we have over here. And of course, we also need, first off, a little bit of water. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in our portable hood range so we can suck up various fumes. While we do this, let's set up right here, and I'll plug in the portable hood range as well. And where is our frying pan? Here we go. Initially, I was going to use the much bigger frying pan, but when I measured everything out, I realized that, oh, this isn't going to be a huge quantity of chicken, so it's better if we can use this sized frying pan. Now, for this particular step, because we still have a few more minutes to wait for our chicken to properly marinate, so the particular oil that we're going to be using is actually mustard oil. I did my research into what kind of oils are traditionally used in Indian cooking, and all my sources online indicated that mustard oil is what you're going to want to go with. Of course, it's not the only oil used in Indian cooking, but I'm quite excited to use this. Took a little bit of searching to find it, but I was able to find it all the same. The particular recipe that I consulted for how to make the butter chicken did not really specify how much oil we would need to use for this particular step. So I think I'm just gonna, I'll start with like a heaping tablespoon, and then we'll go from there. We'll see if that's enough for too much or too little. Probably won't be too much, but you never know. Just gonna add a little more. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. The thing is not on yet, by the way. I'm just going to grab a little bit of paper towel just so I can wipe down the inside of the tablespoon that we just used. There we go. That's good. And I'll just temporarily put the cap on the bottle. We will need to use more of this later on. You know what? We still got 2 minutes to go. Earlier, I said that I would put the chicken back in the fridge upstairs. Let's actually take care of that right now while we have a moment to kill. So I will go ahead and we'll put this in the fridge upstairs, and I will be right back. The chicken has been safely stowed in the fridge upstairs, and it seemed like it was cooling up a little bit, which is good. So yeah, let's go ahead. I think we can go ahead and we can start turning up the heat a little bit on our portable hood range. This is medium-high heat, so we're gonna go to a little bit above high. Above 5, rather, is what I meant to say. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. And this bowl we can use for something else later. And our chicken is ready to go in this thingamabob, but we'll wait for the oil to heat up a little bit. The particular recipe I consulted online, many people swear by it. Let me bring the timer out a little bit. But it was lacking. Why is that not working? There we go. The recipe that I consulted online seemed like the butter chicken that he made was really good. It seemed like the chef really knew what he was doing, but it was a little lacking in specificity. It didn't really indicate how long we're supposed to cook our chicken for. So I'm just going to assume that it is until the butter chicken in question is cooked through. So yeah, we'll just cook it till it looks like it's good, and then we'll go from there. I almost wonder if this tablespoon of oil might have been almost maybe even a little too much. Maybe I could use a little bit less. I think that's good enough. Let me smell this stuff. Wow, it actually smells like mustard. I mean, that's not super surprising, but like normally when you think about like olive oil, for example, olive oil doesn't really smell like olives. It smells like olive oil. Same thing with most of these other oils. This is fascinating. Let's see here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Have a better view of the action. And there we go. Right now, most of the stuff that we still have on the table, we're still going to need to use at some point. So there's nothing we can immediately remove right now. Although, actually, we can remove our red chili powder. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that off. There we go. It's a small little piece, but, you know, whatever we can do right now is helpful. Yeah, I still think it's a little... still think we might have actually put a little too much oil. This is not what I was expecting. I thought that we were going to have to add more oil than needed, but yeah. I don't want to make ourselves a super oily chicken, especially if this is our first time doing this. Delicious smell, though. Absolutely delicious smell. Let me have a little more water. Whoops. Didn't mean to jostle the microphone like that. Okay, I'll just wait like another minute or so, and then we'll slap our chicken right in. I guess we can actually use this same spoon that we've been using to mop up some of our oil to kind of push the chicken into the pan. Oh, and before I forget, I can use this, not the cutting board. Where is it? I had a plate here. Where's the plate? Here it is. I'm going to use this plate to rest my spoon on. Oops, I got a whole huge dollop of oil on my iPhone. That can't be good. I got a bunch of dollops of oil on the table. Let me grab a little bit of the paper towel. All right. I think our oil is heated up enough. Let's go ahead. Let's grab our chicken pieces, and let's begin frying them. You know, actually, in retrospect, it would have been good if I had had like a pair of tongs. But you know what? I can make do with what I have. Where is... Here we go. This is the wooden spoon. I'm going to turn on the portable hood range. There we go. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I want to make sure they're nicely, fully cooked through, though. And man, smells delicious. Like, honestly, genuinely incredibly delicious. I'm very, very pleased. These should probably be tasty enough on their own, honestly. Not that I would want to eat them on their own, but it is an option. It is an option. Let's see, what time is it? 6:05 p.m. We're in for a long stream, but I mean, we have made progress. But we do have quite a few steps ahead of ourselves. Okay, I think at this point, judging by the appearance of this piece over here, it seems like the chicken has been pretty much cooked through. I'm just going to let it go for like another minute or so, just to make sure that everything has been properly cooked. But yeah, it smells great. It smells great. This is going to be tasty. This is going to be a tasty meal. And I think I used just the right amount of oil. I think I was right to try to sop up some of that oil at the end there. Yeah, I think our chicken is good. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to turn down the heat and turn it off. We're not going to unplug it, though, because we will be using it again soon. And I am going to... We'll move this plate over here, and we're going to transfer it to the white bowl from earlier. Oh, whoops. One of the chicken pieces fell on the counter. Oops. Some of it splattered on my iPhone a little bit. I'll have to clean that up to the best of my abilities. Let me just... There we go. Got that to suck up some of it. I'm just going to remove some of the detritus from the frying pan. There we go. And let's grab some paper towels. Swipe up some of the lingering things that were on the spoon. And hold on, I can use some of the paper towel that I just threw out to just clean up my phone and the table. There we go. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually turn it on to low, and I'm going to put it by the chicken that we put in the bowl from just a moment ago. Just so I'll just zoom out a little bit just to show you where it is. There we go. Okay. That is taken care of, and it took faster than expected. Let's see here. Step number 7. We're going to fry up our red onion in the same frying pan on medium-high heat with a bit of oil and a spoonful of butter until they're nearly caramelized. So we're going to turn on our heat again. Now, for this particular step, the recipe in question didn't specify how much butter we're supposed to use. The kind of just said just a spoonful, and he didn't even specify in the recipe instructions below the video. So, where is the oil? I'm going to put, this time, not so much a heaping tablespoon of oil, but maybe like less than that. Like that. That's a good amount. And then I'm going to use just like a nice spoonful of butter. And we'll call that a day. Let's see here. Where is the butter? Here it is. And we got to get a clean spoon for this. Here we go. We got ourselves a clean spoon. There we go. This just seemed like a nice spoonful of butter. Let me just add a little bit more in there. Because why not? There we go. Now I'm going to move our portable hood range so it's over our frying pan again. Whoops. Don't do that, oil. Just gonna spread our butter around so that it properly melts into here. If I wanted to be really authentic, I guess I would probably use ghee, but figured it'd be better just use what I have on hand. And now with that taken care of, yeah, we're going to fry up our red onions, our 100 grams of red onions, until it is close to being caramelized. This is really delicious smelling. This is going to be good. of onion. I know I didn't wash that one. I should have washed that one, but people don't find out. It'll be good. It'll be A-okay. Nobody will get in trouble. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to read a little bit ahead so that you folks at you folks at home, Jesus, sometimes I mispronounce words real bad, we'll know what's next. Next up is we're going to add our 500 grams of chopped tomatoes and 50 grams of raw cashews to the frying pan, and then mix them all up until everything's evenly coated. Actually, while our red onions continue to cook and get closer to caramelization, let's actually measure out our cashews, because we've not done that yet. Let's see here. I'm going to just push this in here like that. Okay. Also, I don't think we need to use this knife anymore, so I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to put that into our trolley, because it was in a bit of a precarious spot and I didn't want it to fall somewhere and cause an accident. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to grab a piece of paper towel. I'm going to put it on the scale, and I'm going to just put our cashews on here. Oops. Some of them are spilling out. And there we go. 50 grams of raw cashews have been measured out and made ready for the next step of the cooking process. Let's go ahead and let's just stir these up a little bit. I think we're getting close. I'm just getting a couple of ingredients ready for the step that will follow the step with the tomatoes and the raw cashews. I thought this table was going to be huge, almost too huge for my cooking streams when I set it up here, but in the end, I found it to be almost a little too small for some of the crazy operations I've gotten up to. All right, I think our onions, we'll let them do their thing for like 1 more minute, and then I think we'll be ready to move on to the next step. I hope you like the background graphic of the snowflakes, by the way. It took me a little while to properly find a good snowflake background graphic that looked good in that way, but I think I found a good background graphic for this stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and let's move on to step 8, which is where we're going to add in our tomatoes and our raw cashews. We're going to turn up the level on our portable hood range. Let's go ahead. We'll mix this up to the best of our ability. Man, I'm so happy that I got the top-down light because the contents of the pan just look so incredibly vibrant with it. It used to look so dark in the past. What's cool about the tomatoes is that their acidity actually helps to deglaze our pan a little bit. Let's see here. Where are... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead because we don't need to use the raw cashews anymore. I'm just going to put them in the trolley for now. We'll deal with them later. There we go. I'd say that everything's pretty evenly coated, so let's go ahead and let's read ahead to step number 9. Step 9, we're going to add about half a cup of water, 1 tablespoon of garlic paste, 2 tablespoons of malt vinegar, 4 tablespoons of sugar, half a teaspoon of garam masala, 2 tablespoons of Kashmiri chili powder, and a bit of salt to the pan. Then after it's all been evenly mixed up, we're going to let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. Now for the half a cup of water, this is another instance in the recipe that I consulted where the person making the recipe didn't really specify how much water we're supposed to put in the pan at this step. And so guesstimating based on the video that I watched, I'm putting it at about half a cup. In fact, that probably might be even a little bit less than half a cup. There we go. I think that's probably going to be enough. All right, and here we go. Our less than half a cup of water in the pan. There we go. We can always let the additional water evaporate over time if we need it to. I gotta say, it smells really good. Doesn't really look much like butter chicken at this point, so I'm going to trust that the rest of these steps that we have ahead of us will get us to where we want it to be. Let's see. Our tablespoon of garlic paste. So for this, I actually went ahead. This is another instance where the recipe was a little bit unclear. It was unclear whether at this point in the process we're supposed to add a whole other tablespoon of the ginger garlic paste or just normal garlic paste. So I went ahead and actually made some garlic paste myself. It smells really good. And so we're going to be adding that to the dish. And we'll go ahead, we'll mix this in. Yeah, I just made it myself by mincing about half a clove of garlic with a bunch of olive oil. I was just smelling it to make sure that it was still good because I'd left it in the fridge for like a couple days, but still smelled good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I can probably put this back down into the trolley, so I'm going to put it there. Next up, 2 tablespoons of malt vinegar. It took me a little bit of searching to find the malt vinegar, but I was able to find it in the end. go, and that's another thing. Where is it? Where's the cap? Where is the cap for? Here we go. The malt vinegar. This is another thing that we can now safely put in the trolley now that we've dealt with that. I'm going to just stir it up a little bit. Man, such an aromatic, unbelievably aromatic meal so far. This might be one of the most aromatic meals I've made ever in the entire history of Kozibear's cooking. Next up, 4 tablespoons of sugar. So it's a bit of a sugary dish, which is why it's not good to necessarily just eat heaps and heaps of the stuff. But the sugar will only result in it being all the more delicious. Let me just wipe down a tablespoon. There we go. Tablespoon number 2. Let me just, real quick, just to make sure I'm absolutely on the right track, I'm just going to consult the original butter chicken recipe just to confirm that it is 4 tablespoons and not 4 teaspoons, because this is one of those things that can really muck up the recipe if it turns out it's actually teaspoons. 4 tablespoons of sugar. All right. And so we'll go with number 3 and number 4. And there we go. And we'll mix that in real good. Just a moment. So many interesting ingredients. Interesting ingredients, to say the least. All right. Next up, half a teaspoon of garam masala, which I believe is on the other side of the table right over here. I don't need any more of this, actually, so I'll put it in the trolley as well. All the tomatoes have started to become real soupy, which is good. Very good. Next up, 2 tablespoons of Kashmiri chili powder. So this particular stuff I had a lot of difficulty finding, and so instead I relied on a substitution recipe online, which indicated that I could just use basically 2 parts paprika and 1 part cayenne pepper to get the kind of same desired taste and effect. Okay. I'm curious to see how spicy this butter chicken is going to be compared to some of the other butter chickens I love, because I don't know if like all the spices are really going to come through, or if it's going to be ultimately not as spicy once everything is finished cooking. You know what? At the very end, it says that we're going to let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead. We haven't added in the salt yet. I'm just going to start the 15-minute timer for it simmering right now, because, I mean, it's been simmering this entire time at this point. there's no reason to delay until we've gotten our salt in here. Also, I gotta use the bathroom. I might do that after we've dealt with the salt. And yeah, last but not least, just a little bit of salt. And there we go. To bring the sweetness out a little more, I suppose. Put that in our trolley. I'm going to turn this in. I'm going to just very, 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 very slightly turn down the heat. And there we go. And now, with this doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and use the bathroom. I will be right back. Your boy is back, hands freshly washed after using the lavatorium. Let's see here. It's the butter chicken that this is going to result in is definitely going to be perhaps a little bit darker color than the butter chickens that I'm used to. I'm still looking forward to it. Let's go ahead. Let's read a little bit about the next step. Step number 10. While our curry simmers, we're going to take care of a little bit of busy work. We're going to, A, clean out the bowl that we used earlier to marinate our chicken inside of. B, shred up a bunch of mozzarella cheese. And C, chop up some more red onions. So we'll start off by first cleaning up our bowl that we used a little bit earlier. This is just to give us more bowls to use as options. If we need to store something in the middle of our stream for whatever reason. Oh, don't want to use a lot of soap, but I'll just put a little soap in here just to help clean up the muck more easily. And I'll just I'll wipe down the outside of the bowl with the dish towel that I was using for my hands, and we'll wipe down the inside of the bowl with some paper towels. Let's got myself a paper towel here. And there we go. We got ourselves a nice, clean bowl. All right. Next up. Do I even need to... I don't think that we actually need to even use our digital scale anymore. So I'm actually going to put it on the trolley as well. Let's see here. Where is it? Here we go. So for the cheese... I figured out an ingenious solution to shred the cheese and make sure that it stays fresh for a little while longer and doesn't immediately dry out. We're actually going to grate it into this plastic Tupperware container. Now we just need our cheese grater. Now where is our cheese grater? Did we even remember to bring down a cheese grater? Because I'm not seeing a cheese grater anywhere. I think we forgot to bring down a cheese grater. I will be right back. I am back with a cheese grater in hand. Let's see. We need to get our cheese, which is in our handy dandy lunchbox right over here. Let's go ahead. Let's peel this thing open. Actually, while we're doing this, the only other thing in the lunchbox is this thing of cream, which we're going to need pretty soon. So I'm going to just leave this out here for now. Might as well. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna grate our cheese right into this plastic Tupperware container. A little tough, I gotta be honest. It's actually a little tough without having the full thing of the cheese grater available to us. I mean, we tried. This is an experiment, at the very least. Yeah, it's not easy. Not easy to do it like this, actually. I don't think I'm gonna do it like this again. Here, I'm gonna break off chunks of the cheese and we'll just grate it in like this. This will at least be a little bit easier for us. Kind of, maybe. Rita Jaba says, looks good. Hello, Rita. Thank you for the compliment. I'm smack dab in the middle of making the curry for butter chicken, as you can see right over here. And I'm also in the middle of grating up some of the mozzarella cheese that we're going to use on our pizza a little bit later. And it's a little tough because I thought it would be a really great and clean way to grate up our cheese directly into this Tupperware container, but it's actually very difficult. And thank you for the follow, by the way. Really appreciate it. Ugh. Rita Jeb, I say Rita Jeb, but what I mean to say is Rita J. Beb. I'm just going to call you Rita. Says, no problem. I love food. Haha. Well, I hope that you like this stream because there are all sorts of foods on this stream. Pizza, butter chicken. Oh my. Oh my. Let's see, how many? Just a little under 3 minutes before our timer is done. Rita says, it's 2 a.m. and I'm thinking about ordering a pizza. You should do it. Pizzas are great. Amelia Kazina in the chat says, hey, interesting recipe idea. Thank you. It's, sorry, I'm just trying to grate up this last little bit of cheese. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I was looking for an interesting, like pizza dish to make in this little mini series, and I always make some sort of pizza recipe in every single sort of season of Kozibear's cooking. And I was like, you know what I love is butter chicken. What if I made a butter chicken pizza? And that's how we got to where we are today. Right now I'm just grating up some cheese that will eventually go on the pizza later on. While our butter chicken gravy cooks. You know what? This last little piece of cheese will be the last piece that I grate up for now, and I'll put the rest back in my lunchbox down below in the trolley. If I need to grate up more later, I can certainly do so then. All right, let's wrap up the cheese. Put it back in the cooler pack. And let's get the cheese grater out of here. Where is... Here we go. And there we go. And we'll cover this up so it won't get dried out. And look at that. Just in time for our countdown timer to be over. You know what? Let me just... There we go. I'm going to just stir up our gravy, see how it's doing. And then I think what I'm going to do is... I'm just going to spend a little bit of time cutting up our remaining onions that we're going to need for the pizza part a little bit later. And then we'll deal with the next step of our butter chicken. So we're going to grab our onion. Actually, we will need our knife after all. Where is the knife? Here it is. And there we go. The rest of the onion face down like that. And I'm just going to keep this relatively simple. Just going to cut the onion in halves like that. And then we'll just cut it into quarters like that. And we'll take some of these center pieces out. Slop it in the garbage, and we'll put these pieces into the cup from a little bit earlier. And there we go. All right. Now I truly think we're done with the knife, so we'll put it back in the trolley. There we go. All right. Step number 11. After our curry mixture has sufficiently simmered, we're going to transfer it to the bowl that we marinated our butter chicken in earlier. Although I think this bowl is clean, but I think we can actually... Yeah, we'll go ahead. We're actually going to use this bowl because this bowl will be much bigger. We're going to transfer it to this bowl, and then we are going to emulsify it with our hand blender. So let's go ahead. Let's turn down the heat, turn it off, and now we're going to go ahead and we are going to pour this thing into our bowl over here. Whew. Lots of steam. This would almost be better if we actually had a, if we had the spatula with us, the scraper, as I like to call it. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just going to wipe down some of the detritus that's still in the frying pan. There we go. That's good enough. Okay. I'm going to just temporarily turn that off. I'm probably going to have to... Yeah, I'll unplug the portable burner, and then I'll plug our hand blender in its place. Ooh, it's becoming a lot more orangey this way. Cool. I didn't expect that to happen. Maybe it's the cashews that are brightening up its color. Let me just turn up the... There we go. I need to really be thorough so that I can properly grate up all the cashews. So right now I'm just scooping around, making sure there are no hidden cashews I didn't get to. And there we go. I think that's good. Unplug that. You know what I just realized? We could really use a spatula. And by the way, Rita in chat says, if you add heavy cream, the color will be amazing. Don't you worry, we have heavy cream coming right up, but I'm going to grab my spatula in just a moment. We have our spatula slash scraper in tow, which means we're ready to move on to the next step. Step number 12. We're going to pour our emulsified curry back into the pan through a mesh strainer so that we separate all the seeds and any other excess detritus from it in the process. This is why I wanted to pick up our scraper for this part. Let's go ahead. We'll zoom in a little bit on our frying pan as we do this. Let's see. We'll start by scraping the stuff that's on the emulsion blender into the thing. Even though it's not on at the moment, it's still sizzling. Shows how hot the portable burner can get. We're going to pour the rest in here, like such. Wish I had a third hand that I could use to hold the bowl, so I could scrape it down a little. Just hold it like this, and we'll do a quick scrape. It's a little... I'm not gonna... The curry's a little on the chunky side. It's having difficulty straining through the mesh strainer. This is not good. I thought that we would be able to use this to easily get all this stuff in there, but really need to push. Push, push. Come on, push, Cozy, push. Get it in there. This is going to take a minute. What I need is I really need some sort of tower or something to be able to hold this stuff in place. Okay, push, Cozy, push, push. Push it through. Ah. Getting a lot of it in there. Come on, Cozy, keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can do it. Sorry, my hands are really tired from this. Whew. I didn't think that anything would be as tiring as trying to grate that cheese into that stupid little Tupperware container, but this actually might beat it. Unbelievably. Gotta keep going. Alright. Gotta keep going. Gotta get as much of this stuff back into the frying pan. Let's go back in time when we were young, full of love. It helps that the more we've tried to push this stuff down, the less there is, so at least it's not as heavy as it was when we first started out. Ah. Let's see, can I get a little bit more out of this stuff? You can see it's just a small amount. Push it through to the best of my abilities, but I think we might be reaching our limit. I think we might be... I think that might be it. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do one last push. just to push through what I can. I'm going to take this stuff on the inside of the mesh strainer and put it back in this bowl. Maybe we'll try it out a little bit later just to see what it tastes like. Probably tastes a lot like cashews, to be totally honest. I'll just put that like that for a moment. All right, now we gotta scrape all the remaining butter chicken gravy off from the underside of the mesh strainer. Oh, what time is it? 6:59. Wow. Going at this for nearly 2 hours. I've had fun making this dish, but I think it's going to be... I think I'm going to take a bit of a break before I next attempt to make butter chicken, because this is challenging. All right, we'll put that over there with that thing. And there we go. And we've a lot. But we still have a few steps ahead of us. Quite a few steps. Let's see here. Step number 13. We're going to, first off, we gotta bring power back to our pan. There we go. We're going to add 5 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of kasuri methi leaves, and our cooked chicken to the pan, and leave it to simmer for at least 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn up the heat once again. Turn that up to 5. It's quite the wonderful color. Let's see here. First things first, we'll start with our butter. There we go. Tablespoon number 1. Tablespoon number 2. Tablespoon number 3. Tablespoon number 4. And let's get together a good tablespoon number 5. There we go. So much butter. I'll put this back in the thing. Next up, 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. Still smells good. Probably have exactly 3 tablespoons left in here. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. It's a little bit left, but I don't know if we're going to even use it for anything. Maybe I'll just shrink it. And let's see. What's next? Kasturi methyl leaves. These things, I ended up having to order these from Amazon because I wasn't able to find them in any local stores here in Montreal. Wow, the leaves decompressed when I opened them up. Let's get this thing open. Wow, these are really fragrant smelling. They smell good, though. These are good smelling. All right, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of the stuff, and then we're going to add in our cooked chicken. And there we go. We'll put this in our trolley, so we no longer need it. And in goes in our pre-cooked chicken. And there we go. I'm going to mix this all up. This is going to give it a very nice color, I suspect. The Chow Style says, "Hi, Kozibear. I just realized, shit. Sorry, I saw that. I looked up, saw that message, and thought, oh, the Chow Style just tuned in. And I did not realize the Chow Style that no, you had actually entered that message in the chat a little bit earlier, just before Rita posted their messages about adding heavy cream to improve the color. I apologize for not calling you out a little bit earlier." This is a great, what a great coloration for this butter chicken. Now, this is actually properly, truly starting to look like butter chicken, and I am very excited. Let's turn up the heat a little bit, because we do need to get it back to a simmer. There we go. It seems like it's simmering again. I'm going to turn the portable hood range back on. And let's go ahead. We will set our timer for 5 minutes. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's just take a moment to... Actually, you know, I'm going to try a little bit of the butter chicken stuff that we weren't able to get through the mesh strainer. Interesting. Oh, it has a little bit of a kick to it. It's not bad, but the texture is very gritty. I think the final finished product that we have in front of us is going to be the optimal version of the dish that we have made today. Put the cream in here as well. Yeah, I'm just doing cleanup at this point. If there's anything else that I can put away. I'm gonna have a little bit of water. Rita says, looks amazing. It truly does look amazing. I'm actually going to stir it up just a little bit to make sure that nothing is burning on the bottom. But yeah, this looks really good. There's definitely a period in the middle there where I was like, I don't know if this is turning out as good as I wanted it to, but yeah, it's turning out good. It's absolutely turning out good. It's probably going to be a little bit spicier, though, than some of the butter chickens than I'm used to, but I still think it's going to be very, very, very tasty. All right. We should probably keep the cheese grater out here in case we need to use it a little bit later. We probably won't need to use the rest of this red onion, though, so I'm gonna put this in the trolley as well. We won't need to use any more mustard oil, so we'll put this in the trolley too. I don't think we're going to need to use these 2 spoons anymore, so we'll go ahead and put these in the trolley too. I'm just doing a lot of cleanup at this point. Make things a little bit easier on the table for ourselves for the next steps that are going to be coming up soon. I don't think we're going to need this bowl either, so we'll put this in the trolley too. Whoops, that was a little bit of a loud noise. I apologize. See, about a minute and a half left simmering. Again, just making sure that none of it is burning on the bottom. Right. Almost there. Don't need the measuring cup anymore, so we'll put this in here too. Just about 20 seconds left. Almost there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn off our portable burner, power it down, unplug it. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my oven mitts and I'm going to use them to basically move the portable burner away and put our butter chicken onto a hot plate. There we go. I actually got the oven mitts on the wrong way. There we go. I'm gonna put this other hot plate over here, and I am just going to... I'm gonna grab this and turn it around like that, and there we go. It's safely in the corner where nothing will be able to disturb it or be disturbed by it. And we'll go ahead and we'll move this over here. And there we go. So our butter chicken is done. But the problem is that to put it on our pizza, we actually are going to need to shred it up a little bit because otherwise it's going to be very chunky. So what I'm going to do is... I'm trying to think. put a lot of the bowls in there. You know what we have, actually? I just realized we still have the measuring cup that we used earlier, only for a little bit of water. It's pretty dry. I am going to... let's zoom in a little bit. And eventually, you know what? We can shut off the portable hood range, so we'll turn that off and plug it. There we go. And yeah, we'll grab like a few chunks and we'll put them in this measuring cup. And then we'll shred them up in the measuring cup. Obviously, if we need more, we can just shred more up as we go. Oop. Sorry, I jostled the headset. Let's see here. Now I'll just... Honestly, this would probably be best. Like, I would probably have the most luck at shredding this stuff up if I just used my hands. Problem is that it's very, very hot right now, so I'm just gonna use this spoon, almost like a mortar and pestle, to mortar and pestle up these boys, shred up the chicken inside them. I'm gonna put the timer out for the time being while I do this. There we go. It almost looks like barbecued pork. I guess it's same kind of consistency and appearance. There we go. That's good looking. All right. With that taken care of, let's go ahead. I'm going to just use a bit of paper towel to wipe down the table. Get rid of the excess detritus that has accumulated on it over the course of working on our butter chicken. I'm going to go ahead, actually. I'm going to transfer our remaining butter chicken to this green bowl. There's just enough of it to fit inside here, because I don't want it to accidentally burn in the still very hot frying pan. And there we go. And we'll just, we'll put that... Yeah, actually, we can put it on the portable burner over there. And yeah, with that taken care of, we are basically ready to move on to the process of actually making our pizza. Let's go ahead here. We are step 15. We're going to flour our table, stretch out one of the dough balls onto it, and place it on a sheet of parchment paper. Whoopsies, I think I might have accidentally brought the flour upstairs in the middle of one of my breaks earlier. I will be right back with the flour. We are back with our flour, which means that we're going to go ahead and we're going to start spreading it out on the table. You can actually put these portable burners away. Right. Let's go ahead and let's grab one of our dough balls. This is so exciting. So exciting. Oh, this looks like a nice dough ball for us to use. Go ahead and we'll cover up the other two. What we end up doing with them, we shall see. We shall certainly see. Let's go ahead and let's begin stretching this bad boy out. Because we divided up our dough ball into thirds, into fourths this time, we have a little more pizza dough to work with. Which means it should be a little easier to stretch this bad boy out. Still a little surprised that the dough itself is like quite cold. I thought that it would have warmed up a little bit by this point, but it still seems fairly pliable. I gotta do this with my hands. I can't do it on the table. Look at me, I'm a real pizziola at this point. Let's see, can I, if I do a little bit with it hanging over the edge, gravity take over a little bit, will this help me out a little? It will, maybe it won't. Let's see, let's find out. Gotta find out. Gotta find out. It's pretty good. Let me just stretch it out a little bit more and then we'll move on to the next part. Oh, got a little tear over here. I think that's the pizza trying to tell me that we're good. We've reached the point of it being stretched out sufficiently. Okay, let's actually, you know what, let's put the pizza dough on the paper first. The only thing is, while on the paper, it's good if we can like stretch it out just a little bit more. A little bit bigger, come on. Come on. All right, I think that's about good. All right. Let's go ahead. Next up, it's time to assemble our pizza. This is step 16. Ah, man, we're almost there. We're going to spoon the butter chicken gravy onto the dough, put the shredded chicken on top of the gravy, cover that in some of the chopped up red onion from earlier, and then top all of that with shredded mozzarella cheese. Yeah, we'll go ahead. We're going to start with a little bit of just the gravy without any chicken, although it's a little bit of a thick gravy. Yeah, this is not like tomato sauce. I can say that much. You can tell from the sounds outside that people are home. Kind of arriving just in time because the pizza is almost ready. Almost ready. Not quite ready, but almost getting there ready. We just get one last spoonful of the gravy. There we go. And next, we're going to put our shredded chicken. Again, it really does look like shredded pork. I almost wonder if I maybe put a little too much. Let's put some of it back in here. Spread it out a little more evenly. All right, next up, the onions. This guy's been a long time coming. There we go. I think that's a good amount of onions. And next, last but not least, the cheese. Let's get it in here. There. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I don't think we need to do much more than that. Whew. And with that taken care of, next up, we're going to plop our pizza in the oven for 10 minutes. And while it bakes, we're going to try the butter chicken as is. Here it is. Here is the pizza peel. And into the oven this goes. I will see you in just a moment. The pizza is in the oven, so let's go ahead and let's set a timer for 10 minutes. Man, our timer really came in useful on today's stream. And there we go. So while that's being taken care of, let's try a little bit of our butter chicken, shall we? We should actually, let's bring in the zoom in over here so we can really fully taste everything that this has to offer. Get a good scoop of butter chicken. Still hot. Interesting. So this is, it's a little bit spicier than I expected it to be. The butter chicken that I enjoy typically tends to be a little bit more on the milder side. But it's, the gravy is really rich and the chicken is very well cooked. Oh man, I gotta be careful. I will definitely hose down all of this stuff if I'm not cautious about doing so. So I'm actually going to put that over there and leave it be for the time being. That stuff is good. It is spicy though. It is spicy. Maybe that's something in the future where maybe I might want to adjust the spice level. Not spicy enough for me, but you know, some other people in my household might find it a little bit much. Personally, I'm just amazed that was my first time ever making butter chicken or anything like butter chicken, and it actually came out pretty good, all things considered. I'm actually pretty shocked, impressed with myself. Let me just... we will eventually have to take our pizza out of the oven, as evidenced by the counter on the side of me, so I'm actually just going to move some things out of the way. I'm going to scrape up some of the flour and just put it over here to the side. We might still use some more of it later, but not now, not yet. And we're going to go ahead. We'll bring in the plate that I plan on putting the pizza on after it comes out of the oven, so we have this ready to go, like that. And we can spend a little bit... coughing a little. I'm going to spend a little bit of time just cleaning up. This is a spoon that we were using for our butter chicken earlier. Good stuff. Good stuff. Again, I think I'll want to adjust the spice level a little bit for the future. That was still very tasty. What I'm curious though is, at what point will I need to adjust the spice level? Like, will I need to do it perhaps when... Maybe the Kashmiri chili powder. Maybe that stuff I need to make the, like... the quantity of paprika to cayenne pepper a little bit more disproportionate, so that it's even more paprika and even less cayenne pepper. I should probably consult some other recipes online to see what they say about making it a little bit more mellowed out. But still very delicious. Very delicious. Good job to the YouTube channel that I got this recipe from. You did a good job. All right. Hot plates I can put into the trolley. Put this plate in this spoon. Into the trolley as well. Where can I put the plate? I'll just keep it on the table for now. We still have 2 big old dough balls. I'll probably use at least one of them after we're finished with this pizza, but I might put the other one in the freezer for another occasion. So pretty efficient use of pizza dough, I would say. I feel like the top light definitely did its job well. Only thing is, I didn't charge it properly ahead of today's stream, and so I hope that it doesn't run out of charge. The particular top light I have, it's a battery-powered top light, so it needs to be charged after every stream. Something I'll have to make sure to remember to do, although I do have a checklist where I have all this information written down, so it shouldn't be something that I forget about. I don't need the cheese grater anymore, so I'll put it in the... Actually, I might need to use it if I assemble more pizzas here, so... I'll keep that there with that thing. Hope everyone had a good day today. This is a fun little stream. A fun little stream that had a lot of steps and was a lot of work. Definitely not my longest stream of all time, but it's definitely up there with one of the longer streams that I've done. I'm now looking around. I'm like, is there anything else I can clean up? But no, everything that I still currently have on the table, I'm justified in keeping on the table right now in case I want to make more pizzas after the stream is done. Robin Hood flour. You've come in so useful over the course of this streaming series. So incredibly useful. I'll just go ahead and I'll say that step 18 is going to be that we're going to garnish our pizza with a little bit of ranch dressing. As I said earlier in the stream, the pizza that you can see in the upper left-hand corner, which was a inspiration for what I wanted to make today. That particular pizza I found on Reddit, and the person on Reddit said that they had used a combination of cream and coconut as like their swirl, and I figure, you know what, that sounds good, but I also like ranch, so let's use a little bit of ranch instead. I think that'll produce a similar effect that will taste possibly even better. And yeah, and then that's going to be that. The next 2 streams that I have coming up, the stream on next Wednesday, which should be the 11th of December, that particular stream, I'm going to be making 2 different food items, both one more complicated than the other. Overall, it'll be a more complicated stream, and then the final stream to wrap up Kozibear's cooking in its entirety, which will happen on the 18th. That particular stream, sorry for the burp, will be something very simple, very chill, to kind of close things out. Just a final, fun little send-off before we kind of close the lights on Kozibear's cooking and my streaming efforts on my personal Twitch channel. Of course, I will still continue to stream alongside Respawning Fire, do fun stuff with them. I will still continue to... what was I about to say? Right. Of course, I'll still continue to do, fun little streams and appearances on other people's podcasts. I will still continue to be active in the content creator space because I think that it's good to put out this sort of stuff on a daily, maybe not daily, but at least weekly-ish basis. You can also, of course, look forward to me being heard on Kinda Funny's content, my questions being written into their shows a lot, for example. So yeah, you'll find a lot of me in a lot of places online on streaming services, just not my own personal channel, because I have some fun projects that I have coming up next year that I wanted to focus on in their stead. And yeah, that's the current situation. Here we go. We just have just a little bit over a minute left on our pizza. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start getting ready. I'm going to grab our pizza peel. I'm going to grab our Evolution, Cosmic Evolution oven mitts. And yeah, this is going to be fun. A little bit more water. I don't know if I have like a cold coming on, but I've had like a weird soreness in my throat throughout the entire stream. Doesn't feel like a cold though. All right. Here we go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Timer is up. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get my pizza out of the oven and bring it down here for all to see. And voila, my pizza is complete. As you can see, it got a little bit burned, a little bit singed in a couple of spots, but only very minorly. Of course, when I'm downstairs, I can't keep super close attention on the pizzas that I'm cooking upstairs, and so these sorts of small, minor little imperfections are going to happen. But look at this beauty. This is a beautiful looking, perfectly just caramelized, delicious looking little pizza pie. I'm going to take a few photos before I forget to do so. You know what I'm going to do, just for fun? I'm going to bump up the light by 2 paces, just so that I can get a little bit more light in the photos that I'm taking. I'm just going to go on the other side. Sorry about this, but this gives me time to let the pizza cool off and also gives me time to properly document my pizzarific journey so far. And actually, I just realized I haven't even applied my ranch dressing on the pizza yet, so let's do that. Right. And there we go. I'll take a couple more photos like this. I don't think the ranch came out perfectly. I still think it looks pretty yummy. And there we go. I'm going to turn down the light by 2 steps. Let's go ahead. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how this thing came out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut myself a nice slice. And see how our culinary creation turned out. Ooh, still piping hot. I can literally see the steam rising from it, but I think it's important that I document how this thing tastes while it's still a little bit on the hot side. Let's go ahead, switch to our zoomed in camera, and let's taste test our creation. It's hot, but good. I can definitely taste the butter chicken curry. It's not as spicy as I thought it was going to be. Let me also bring in the timer camera while we're doing this. Oh, this is good. It's good, and the onions don't stick out. The only thing is I'm wondering if, like, do I prefer this over butter chicken by itself? Because with butter chicken, at least the butter chicken flavors are a little bit more pronounced. I don't know. By the way, I really love how the dough came out on this pizza. It came out good. Yeah, I think I made the right call, splitting up my big dough ball into 3 smaller dough balls. I'm just gonna, I'll put a bit of ranch on this, give my pizza bones a little bit more flavor. And I'll finish this stuff off. You can't see me, but I'm pointing. This pizza right here. This pizza right here is a tasty-ass pizza. I don't know if I necessarily prefer it to butter chicken by itself, but I think we managed to make a successful, good new culinary creation, and I'm very pleased with the results. All right, and with that, we have arrived at the end of tonight's stream. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. This has been the Kozibear's Cooking Holiday Special, which is a limited run 3-episode show that you can watch live on both twitch.tv/KozibearLive and youtube.com/@KozibearLive at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 4th, December 11th, and December 18th. It is also the finale of all my streaming efforts on my personal Twitch and YouTube channels. There will be no more streams on either after this, so savor it while it lasts. Remember that you can view full-length VODs of all my past I was speaking too fast and my brain got ahead of me, or rather my voice got ahead of my brain. Remember that you can watch full-length VODs of all my past streams on both platforms, and keep up with what I'm up to outside of my streaming efforts on Blue Sky at Kozibear.bluesky.social. That's KOZIBEAR.BSKY.SOCIAL. Definitely do that, because I'm going to have some pretty cool announcements there, over the coming months that you're going to want to know about. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope that you have a holiday-rific rest